Realities of our broadcasting feeds do indicate that if we do not be able to capture him right now, we might struggle a little bit later. So let's go straight to Jackson Onyango. A very good morning, Jackson.
Good morning, Chris Kyagulanyi and Ugandans who are watching NTV this morning. I'm coming to you live from Barara in western Uganda, where the National Unity Platform leadership are going to Beson to continue with their mobilization tours in this part of the country. Of course, you are aware that this mobilization tours resumed yesterday after a brief hiatus that was caused by the suspension by the security personnel, and in particular the Uganda Police Force, who had some concerns about this, how this mobilization tours were being conducted. But as of last week, there was an agreement that was reached between the leadership of the National Unity Platform with the security personnel on how these tours should be carried. But you are aware that that is not the first time that the police are trying to stop the mobilization activities. Of course, time and again raising particular concerns, but this time around, yesterday, at least there was no issue, and I can say that we have not yet seen any letter coming out from police indicating that they will suspend again. So we are hoping maybe this time around the leadership will be able to carry out with the activities as planned. However, that the president of the National Unity Platform, of course, will give us his experience as far as yesterday is concerned and what he expects this time around. We know that the police earlier on issued the guidelines indicating that the number of vehicles they would be moving with should be limited. The number of people who accompany them should be few. They should not move on car rooftops. And we can say that based on what we observed, all this were observed, except that in Ibundibujo, where they had expected to carry on with their rally at a particular venue, that did not happen. But I am joined here by the president of the National Unity Platform, Mr. Robert Kyagulanyi. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. How are you doing?
Good. How is your spirit today as you are going to hit the field?
My spirit, and I believe the spirits of my comrades, is high. We refuse to be beaten down. We refuse to yield to the negativities. So we are positive and we're keeping on going despite the hurdles that we keep encountering.
Yes. How was your experience yesterday in Ibundibujo after you resumed these political activities that you are carrying on? We know that you were stopped, but still you were able to talk to the people there. What do you make of that whole situation, how it was yesterday?
Actually, yesterday we were not able to address the people of Bundibujo. We only stopped at opening our office and spoke to a few people that were at our offices. We encountered numerous roadblocks on the way to Bundibujo, but we managed to go past them. However, at our very offices, before we entered Bundibujo, when we opened our office, before we could even proceed to the radio station that we had paid and booked to speak to the people of Bundibujo, and then later go to Boma grounds, which we had also paid for and secured. Our public address system was there, and the police and all authorities were informed and notified, just like it was agreed between our leadership and the police. But as usual, they acted out of the law, assisted by the military, blocked the road, and we could not go on with our activity in Bundibujo as planned.
Yeah. So, you know, time and again, your leadership, you keep meeting the police or those in the government, and you agree on particular issues. And this is where many people are concerned that what is it exactly that you agree on and who is abusing it. Because, for example, if you are allowed and you even tell the public that we are resuming our political activities, for example, for yesterday, we are going to be in Bundibujo at a particular ground where you even pay for, then how comes that the police come again and they stop you from doing actually what I assume you agreed with them?
Yeah, that was not the first time. You remember we were blocked from going to Kamuli, even when everything was set and everything was notified. Police was notified and all other security agencies. The same thing happened when we were going to Bugweri. Of course, we engaged the police again. We are trying as much as possible to be moral, to take legal lines, and to avoid any confrontation with them, no matter how much they try to push us. The same way we were going to Masaka. They blocked, before they blocked the road, you remember there was an accident, which was very many miles away from us, but the police decided to target on us. Of course, they couldn't find any way to involve us in that, and that passed. So we went to Masaka, although they never allowed us to use the main road. But coming to Bundibujo, this was more than, I think, beyond the 10th time that they're doing this. They have put all manner of conditions, all stringent conditions, and we've abided by them. It should be noted that in venues where other political leaders and other entertainment activities take places, they don't allow us to go there. We were meant to be in Masaka at the Independence Square, where all other political leaders go and address people. We as NUP, we are blocked. The same thing in Boma grounds yesterday in Bundibujo. They blocked us, like they keep blocking. They even block us from using the public roads. So it is clear that the police is trying as much as possible to provoke us into violence. But we refuse that because we know non-violence is actually much stronger than violence. We are trying as much as possible to show the people that we are the moral guys and the police are the bad guys. And that's unfortunate. That's a very big taint to the security agencies, to the national police, which is supposed to be keeping law and order, protecting people and their property. But now police is reduced to playing politics. That's very unfortunate. But I insist that we shall maintain our decency, we shall maintain our non-violent nature, and the police will continue to expose itself until a time when people will not take this anymore.
So I want to assume that one of the major issues that come out in your discussion with the security personnel, it is about the particular route that you should use when you are going for these mobilization tours. They have always raised concern that you are supposed to use particular routes to these venues. When you discuss that, does that come out of this discussion, and is it always clear to them that this is what the route you'll use, and you also agree with them, or it is something that changes laterwards and you just discover that some changes have been made?
We always agree about everything, and they put conditions. They say, go secure permission for this venue. We do secure permission. They say secure and pay for the radio stations. We do. Notify all security leaders in the area. We do notify them. But they just change. They just show up and say, no, you cannot use this road. This is an order from above. Now this event cannot go on. It's an order from above. Just like yesterday, all of a sudden, they said, no, you cannot use the venue in Bundibujo. And they sent us 30 miles away from Bundibujo. They said that's where we're supposed to address a rally from. We didn't book that venue. We don't even know there. We went to Bundibujo. We secured the venue and paid for it in Bundibujo. So we cannot go anywhere where we're not even sure of our security. And like we've said numerously, if the police wants us to talk to the people 30 miles away from the venue, we agree. We have no problem. We can go there later. But we want to follow what is agreed upon and what is paid for. Yeah.
I want to believe that still you managed to pass on your message to the people when you were there. To you, that does not make any difference. For example, I want to assume you are just a few meters away from the heart of Bundibujo town. I want to think that that gave you even a benefit that you are able to address the people. Why would you still insist on going back to Bundibujo as you indicated to me yesterday?
But the people were in Bundibujo. They were all full in the venue where we're going. Boma grounds was full of people. Bundibujo town was full of people waiting for us to head to Boma grounds. That is where we were meant to address people. Of course, when we were opening our offices, quite a number of people came to welcome us. It is only those that were at our office that I addressed, told them the truth, that we were meant to address them on radio, especially the young, the sick, and the elderly who could not come into the hassle of, listening to us live, wanted to talk them on a radio station. We were blocked from that. Like we've been blocked numerously from radio stations in up-country areas. So we just spoke to those ones. We know that sometimes our messages go far and wide thanks to social media, and the people, especially young people, that pick our messages and take it there. But that was not the intention. It is within our right as a political party, as leaders, to address the population. But the regime deliberately blocks us from sending our message to the population, which message they fear, because it's a message that exposes their ills, and it's a message that will liberate the people's minds and ultimately their bodies.
I would like you to ask you, coming from the point where you're saying that your message still can be heard, I would like to know whether you think you are making progress as a party during this mobilization tours. Because, like, for example, this whole week you have programs lined up.
Yes.
If police keeps doing the same, do you think you are hitting the target that you set as a party?
I mean, our target is to address the people, to go there peacefully, and to return home peacefully, to send a positive message. We don't want to be seen clashing with the police, but they are trying as much as possible to paint a violent image of us, which they should be ashamed of themselves. I cannot say our message goes, because we are constantly blocked. Of course, it paints a very negative message, a very negative image of the police, and it shows that they are partisan. Other political players are allowed to go about their businesses. But NUP in particular is being hounded left, right, and center. So this clearly shows who the regime is afraid of. It shows who the real oppositions are. But most importantly, it shows that this is a biased police, and therefore has no moral authority to be the police of Uganda.
Okay. What I picked from your message yesterday, you did address people of Bundibujo, saying that Bundibujo should be far away from what it is today in terms of development, but also you hinted at the issue of corruption, whereby the Inspectorate of Government highlights that we lose about 10 trillion shillings annually. Yes. And we have seen President Museveni coming up with some measures. Members of Parliament are currently battling cases in the courts of law. We have seen him come up with some agencies within State House. Do you think he's taking up serious measures and is serious about the fight against corruption at this particular moment?
But Museveni is the high priest of corruption in Uganda. Museveni institutionalized corruption. Museveni legitimized corruption. He uses it as a currency. You know, the same person that walked against corruption at the event, while he was speaking on that very event, blocked the IGG from carrying out a lifestyle audit, because he claims the corrupt people will go and invest out of the country instead of investing in Uganda. He's the same person that rewards corruption. He rewarded the Mike Mokolas after theft, the Jim Mwezis after theft of resources that were meant to help the most vulnerable people. He has shielded Anita Mongo, you know, the most corrupt speaker of parliament Uganda has ever known. He has shielded her. Museveni rewarded Karemera, a convicted tax fraudster. So, what moral authority does Museveni have to talk about corruption? Of course, he will lie and lie and lie again, but we understand. We attribute it to age, we attribute it to character, and we attribute it to greed for power. So corruption is Museveni's way of life. Corruption is Museveni's bloodline. And to end corruption in Uganda, the first thing that must end is the Museveni regime.
You have talked of him protecting the Speaker of Parliament, Anita Among. Yes. Maybe if you can clarify on that further, because so far there is no any case that has been brought legally against the Speaker of Parliament. What is there at the moment is just allegations which have not yet proven. So how would you like him to intervene? And possibly by coming for members of Parliament, you can say is leading the way. You never know where it will end.
These are not allegations. These are facts. Okay? These are facts. They are records from Parliament. These are facts, not allegations. And Museveni should be ashamed that international players, the international community has seen it. It is so glaring that it is seen by the international community. And they've even sanctioned her in the UK. They've sanctioned her in America. And also sanctioned her in Dubai. So, here, Museveni protects corruption, but he cannot blind the whole world. You're talking about the justice system. Are you talking about the Ugandan justice system? Are you really serious? Why don't you just go to the next question?
I think the Ugandan justice system has always, maybe it is debated, but some people can say it is the same system that other people have used to get some fairness. But moving away from that issue, you hinted at, you called on the youth yesterday to stand up, to emulate what happened in Kenya.
Yeah.
And somebody would argue that why would Ugandans particular at this moment come out? For example, if it was during the election time, it would be rightfully so. But right now, the situation seems to be calm and people are moving on. Yes, there could be challenges here and there. Why would you want the youth to come out at this particular moment?
Calmness does not mean peace. It is calm, but do you know what's happening behind the scenes? While you say the situation is calm, we lose more than 10 trillion to corruption. While you think the situation is calm, the money that is meant to buy ambulances is being paid to individuals that are connected to General Museveni. While you say the situation is calm, more children continue to die, more women continue to die, our infrastructure continues to rot. So you cannot say it's calm. While it's calm, the young people are losing their future. That's why I'm calling upon them to emulate the young people in Kenya and not to leave their future to only politicians. And by politicians, I mean all politicians, those in the ruling party and even the so-called opposition. The young people must not leave their future to politicians. They must hold them accountable. Politicians don't do the right thing because they are good-hearted. No. It's because they are pressured. President Ruto of Kenya had to fire his entire cabinet. He had to drop the oppressive law that was brought in Kenya that was going to financially strangle the people of Kenya, especially the young people. So this is why we're calling upon young people of Uganda to emulate those in Kenya and take their destiny in their own hands and not rely on politicians. And they should not target to elections. Because in any case, we have not had elections. We just continue to have, what can I call it? Not just fraudulent elections, but, in Uganda they call it kutusa mukolo.
But sometimes protests in Africa have taken the path of violence and riots. And if you call on that, people will say we have always tagged the National Unity Platform to this kind of things. Yes. So if you come out, won't you be seen still by a section of the public that this group is actually what we thought about them?
We are not reinventing the wheel. I'm telling them to emulate Kenya. Is there war in Kenya? Is there war in Kenya? No, there's no war in Kenya. Did the young people of Kenya rise up non-violently and unarmed, peaceful, and asserted themselves? Yes, they did. Did they get results? Yes, they did. So the young people of Uganda emulate the young people of Kenya. The young people of Kenya did not just do it for themselves. They did it for all of Africa, indeed all of the world. You see? So that, violence has always been used as an excuse. When you say the truth, they say you're inciting violence, And now, the young people of Kenya made it clear that they're non-violent. I've even seen some young Ugandans calling for protests. I support them. And I like the fact that they're not tagging it to any political party or any religion or any tribe. That is what it should be. The only way General Museveni and his regime has always been suppressing Ugandans from rising up and demanding for what rightfully belongs to them is by arresting one leader. They arrest Dr. Besigye or they arrest me, and the people are made to think that now everything should go down. But now the young people should take it beyond the leaders. It should be beyond Bobby Wine. Most times they've been saying, those are Bobby Wine things. Now the young people know that these are not Bobby Wine matters. These are not NUP matters. These are matters of their future. In fact, they need to protest more than me. They are more pressured than myself. They are young. They have a longer future than myself. So they should get involved. Okay. They should rise up, peaceful, unarmed. The world is watching. You saw the police spokesperson yesterday. He couldn't, reject the peaceful protests. Why? Because they are anchored in the law. And they know the world is watching. They cannot kill all people.
But they have said that they have not yet cleared that kind of arrangement. So possibly...
They don't need, I must remind the young people that they don't need police clearance. They don't need permission from the police according to the law. They just need to notify the police. And I saw some document going around online showing that they notified the police. So we encourage them, wherever you are, in whatever part of the country you are, and I request you don't tag this to any political party. Don't wear any political party paraphernalia. Don't carry any political party identity. Just carry your placards, just write your message, and go about your business, go about your picketing, your demonstration, your protest non-violently. And that will be the most powerful thing that you've ever experienced in your life.
Many can say that the way the youth in Kenya used the social media was in a positive way that has resulted into some changes. But if you, and Uganda, there are a section of people who are trying to emulate the same. However, where is the limit in the usage of social media? Because we have just seen recently someone, a young man, was sued, prosecuted, and sentenced to serve 6 years in jail. And so to you as a leader, and normally they have always said that, you know, NUP has left its youth and supporters to abuse members of the public. So to you, where is the line drawn in terms of how social media should be used for positive change in society?
First of all, I want to assert that the young man that was sentenced to 6 years, that's the most stupid judgment that one can think of. It exposes our justice system. We have an RDC of Gomba, where I come from, the one who called Kisa, whatever. This is a person that removed his pants and showed his buttocks to the king of Buganda and to the public because he was angry with them for whatever reason. And he was rewarded with a post of RDC. But this young man, from wherever he is, because he was speaking against General Museveni, he's in prison. You've seen so many people, I'm not going to mention their names, but you've seen them. The person that uses the worst obscenities against me or against those that are speaking against the regime, they get rewarded. They get positions, they become presidential advisors. So the more obscenities that you spew out there, the more chances of becoming either an RDC or a presidential advisor or whatever. So
but they say that two wrongs do not make a right. So if the other group, that's how they are being awarded. For you, do you think you should...
I'm not encouraging wrong, but I'm trying to show you the hypocrisy of this regime. I'm trying to show you that one person does something and is rewarded with the position of RDC or presidential advisor, and another person does the exact same thing and they are sentenced to 6 years in prison. Of course, you know what that puts, what kind of image it paints for our country internationally. But again, coming back to how to use social media, we have always been clear to the young people of Uganda, encouraging them to use social media positively, but also encouraging them to be non-violent. So for somebody to non-violently provoke you with words, I think that's much better than violence. When Museveni and his friends were our age, they did not abuse anybody. They just picked guns and killed people. They went around raping women. They went around raiding hospitals and all that. That's exactly what they do. Do you want to compare that to social media, insults? No. Of course, we don't encourage insults. We encourage decency. But we also encourage our people to express their anger non-violently and to make sure that they communicate in a way that will earn them respect. The regime, I must end by saying that the regime wants to tag every negativity to NUP. But people know that we preach positivity, we preach decency, and we preach positive and decent change.
And maybe as I finalize, one of the questions I have is about your relationship currently with the Mengo establishment? Because we keep, do you think what has happened between you with the former leader of opposition has somehow strained your relationship with the Mengo establishment? Because we keep messages that keep coming from there shows that possibly this could even divide
coming from where?
From Mengo generally. We have had the Katikiro coming out. Also speaking about, by the way, issues to do with the being abused, people from NUP not respecting the others and so on.
I've not heard him say that.
Yeah, but what is your relationship kind like currently?
Let me ask you, is the former leader of opposition the Kabaka of Uganda? Is the former leader of opposition the Katikiro of Uganda? NUP is a political party and it's run at a national level. It's not a Buganda party. It is a Uganda party. We are responsible for Ankole, for Busoga, for Acholi, for Kasese, for all of Uganda. I come from Buganda. I'm a Muganda also. And in Buganda, we are all equal. Okay, so you cannot tell me that tomorrow, if Right Honorable Joel Senyonyi is no longer leader of opposition, and we have Odong, or we have Mogisha, or we have, anybody from any other region, are you going to tell me that the Mengo establishment is going to be angry that we changed him? No. It is wrong to try to reduce our kingdom to politics. Of course, many people have been trying to hide behind the church and behind the Mengo establishment. And I'm a Muganda and I'm a Catholic. And in our Baganda culture, we don't condone corruption. In the Catholic Church, we don't condone corruption. So please don't try to hide corruption in our kingdom. It's a decent kingdom. Don't try to associate our kingdom or our church with corruption scandals. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you very much for speaking to us this morning.
If you'll allow me, I will once again drum this message to the young people of Uganda. This is your country. This is where you were born. This is where you're living. And when you die, this is where you're going to be buried. But most importantly, this is where your children and grandchildren are going to be. It is in your absolute personal interest to rise up and defend your future. Don't leave it to us. Don't leave it to the leaders. We do our part. We guide you. We lead you. We make sure we carry the flag. We make sure we carry the message everywhere. But ultimately, it's going to be you. You are the only justification to show the world that this is not a Kyagulanyi matter. This is not a NUP matter. In fact, this is not an issue of opposition. So many people in the NRM hate corruption. So many people in the NRM want change. So you, the young people of Uganda, come together, tribeless, partyless, religionless, join hands and save your country. Don't reduce it to Kyagulanyi or to anybody else. This is your country. We can lead, but we can't do anything without your involvement. So get involved, get your country back. If you wonder how it's done, look at the neighbors in Kenya. They did it. You can do it. You can rise up, peaceful, unarmed, non-violent, and claim back your country. Don't wait for me. In fact, don't expect me there. Let every one of us play his part. Young people of Uganda, remember, this is your turning point. Rise up and save your future before it's too late.
So about your program for today, where are you heading to and what is your expectation?
Today we are heading to Ishaka and Bushenyi. We hope the police will not break the law again. Our only weapon is the camera to show the world what is happening. We are peaceful, we are law-abiding citizens, we are non-violent, we are coming to the people of Bushenyi and Ishaka to deliver the message of change. We are looking forward to seeing you, our people. Nitubakunda mnonga, mwebale mnonga kutuachira, tulio mlimbara ejisha. Later on, we are going to Ishaka.
Okay. Thank you very much, Kyagulanyi, for speaking to us. I hope you has been watching NTV. You have picked one or two things from this interview that I've just had with him. And we wish you a very fruitful day. Keep tuned to NTV.